Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. So, if you were wondering what anybody's babbling about today, this is the place to go to because I'm going to babble about the new release from Yes. And I say new release because it's the super deluxe edition of Fragile. This is like the 4 CD, 1 LP, they got a couple DVDs in here, Blu-rays, whatever. And it's the super deluxe edition. They've been doing this for a while now, and they just did the Talk album here, I don't know, about a month or so ago, and I love Yes, so I was like really excited to get this one. This one was probably, I think it was like maybe the third or fourth album I ever bought from them. I kind of like discovered Yes in the mid 80s, and then kind of went backwards. That was just kind of where I was at music at that point in time. Super into like Yes and Asia, so when I discovered where these guys came from, Asia that is, I had to go back and hear all the stuff. So Steve Howe was like a big reason I went back and checked this album out. And I remember when I first got this one, I mean, I was pretty young. I was probably really young, and didn't quite get it at first. This one had to grow on me a little bit, because basically there's only like 4 songs on here. They're long, except for Long Distance Runaround's not that long, but you got 8 to 10 minute songs on here, and then there's some little stuff thrown in between. That's kind of like how this album was set up. And so when I was young, I didn't go back to this one a lot. It wasn't until I got older and I started like really getting in Yes, and I realized what it was all about, that I started really enjoying this album. So it wasn't one of the ones that really did trick me right from the start. However, I was really excited to get this one because I actually love this album at this point in time. And I like the stuff that Steven Wilson's been doing with all the remixing and stuff that he's been doing. Actually, I've mentioned this quite a few times. I like the way he does things. He doesn't try to do it like his way. He tries to just take the original recordings and just enhance them, and bring out, enhance little things, bring out the instruments so you can hear them a little bit better, and still stick to the original feel and tone of the original album. And I think he did a great job on this one. I actually went right to the remix CD, which is CD number 2. The CD 1's just the original album remastered. I'm going to be completely honest, when they do remasters, the majority of the time I don't care for them. They actually remastered this one once already. I didn't like it. I just kind of skipped over it. I'm probably never going to listen to the remaster. Maybe I'll check it out. I don't know, but I was not interested in the remaster at all. Went right to the remix and put the headphones on and just sat back and I listened to the whole thing through, and I actually just loved that experience of listening to this album again. I think Steven Wilson did a great job on this. The bass in this one, Chris Squire's playing on this is insane. The sound that he has on this album, I've always known he's got a really aggressive sound, especially in the earlier days. And this man, he just was tearing it up on this. He just plays so heavy and so loud, and it just mixes so perfectly well with the little nuanced stuff that Steve Howe is doing, the intricate stuff that he does, and then of course Wakeman's keys are just insane on here. But it's just amazing just listening again and just concentrating on everything that's going on, how well this album and how well this band played together. For me, this is like one of the highlights of their lineups. This is one of the best lineups they had at this point. So anyway, I really enjoyed that. They got a whole bunch of instrumental mixes on that CD too. Honestly, didn't really care to listen to those, and I went right to the rarities because that's the big reason that they do these things, and the big reason we buy all this stuff is for all the rarities. And for the most part, I think they were kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for some of this stuff. Some of it's really good, don't get me wrong. I like the hearing the earlier versions of these songs, especially like South Side of the Sky. The earlier take of that is way different. That song's actually, it's weird because I didn't realize how heavy that song was. You picture that song being written nowadays and performed by like more modern day progressive rock bands, that song would be like heavy. And the earlier take of this was just more of a rock sound to it. It just really had like a really cool heaviness to it that I heard when I was listening to it, but you could see where it came from. They actually kind of toned that down for the actual album version of it, it sounds like. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then they got some earlier takes from Roundabout on here, and some different versions of We Have Heaven. Just short little things. And then there's some edits in there, which, the single edits, which I've heard before. I didn't, I've got them on other things here and there, so I didn't really care too much about that. However, the last disc is where they have a bunch of cool little things. They have a couple different alternate versions of Heart of the Sunrise, which was interesting listening to that one, because that one's like another one of those cool songs where it's like starts out super progressive and heavy and then gets instantly mellow, but somehow it all flows. I don't know how they do that, but amazing stuff. At least for me, I think it is. And then, the instrumental version of America, which, I think they were recording right around this time, didn't end up on the album, but cool little version of that on here as well. So that was kind of nice. That's actually, I've always really liked that song, so it was kind of nice hearing that too. Even though I'm not usually into instrumental versions of it, I think that was kind of like a work in progress type thing, and I like hearing how bands, it's for me, because I like to write songs and stuff, I like hearing how other bands progress and how they do it, because everybody kind of does it their own cool little way. And then like the version of Yours Is No Disgrace on here, the little last song on here was, that's one of my favorite Yes songs, so I'm glad they threw that on here. It was really cool hearing that too. So, and then there's a couple live things on here as well, but it seems like they were just kind of like grabbing a bunch of stuff that they had and kind of threw it on here. But either way, I actually really enjoyed this stuff on the rarities. I kind of wish that they would just like have a version of just the disc come out. Maybe they will at some point in time, because I really didn't need the vinyl, and quite honestly, I don't have an Atmos setup, so I'm, having the DVDs with the Atmos mixes on it is cool. At some point, maybe down the road, if I have one, it'll be nice to listen to, but at this point, I don't really have any need for any of that stuff. So for me, it was all about the CDs. I don't know how anybody else feels about that stuff, but as always, I welcome you to share your thoughts and feelings below. As always, any cool Yes stories or things you want to throw in that I may have left out in this, or what your opinions of it are, as always, they're welcome in the comment section. And as always, I ask to like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because I love Yes. I would like to keep hearing some cool stuff coming up from them. Hopefully, this new thing that John Anderson's doing with the Band Geeks is going to be cool. The first song I heard sounded more like this style of Yes to me than the actually current version of Yes is. So I just heard today that they're putting a new version of Asia together too, which is like, I didn't really care to hear another version of Asia. I love Asia, but man, they need to get John Payne back into that if they're going to do it. And he was not mentioned in the version I heard today. So that's for another video at another time. So until then, we will see you.